Howdy, Possum Patty here. Little Titi's in here too. Yes, she is. And it is March 1st. I've got my lucky green sweater on, which is quite old. I just came in from taking a walk outside. It is in the 40s, and yesterday was the last day of February, and it snowed yesterday, and I wanted to go out for a walk yesterday, but then it started raining. I don't like cold rain. I don't like to walk in the cold rain. Snow is okay, but cold rain, no. I'm not gonna do that. Anyway, so you may remember that I've been talking about, well, I haven't done any slow stitching because I haven't had a snow day. And my plan was, if we had a big snowstorm and we had to stay in for days at a time, that I would get out my slow stitching and sit on the couch and do some slow stitching. Did that happen yesterday? No, that didn't happen yesterday. So let me tell you what did happen, okay? My little golden book, The Colors of Winter journal, was sitting on my desk because I had just completed a page with the happy mail from Deidre, and she had sent me a Valentine, so I did a Valentine page. And I had taken out my, tote bag, my little baggies that I have for my organization, full of Valentine's things. And that was sitting on the table, so I went to put the bag of Valentine stuff away. And I was like, you know what? There's not that many more pages left in this journal. What if I just sat here, had some quiet time, and started putting some things in the journal that were on my phone and I wanted to print out and I wanted to get on there. So that's what I did. I finished. Yes, I did. I finished the little golden book, The Colors of Winter, on the very last day of meteorological winter. So today is the first day, March 1st, of meteorological spring. And the snow that we had yesterday when it was winter is melting today now that we have spring. And that's because the sun is a lot warmer, higher up in the sky than it was, a few months ago. So this came out very, very chunky, as most of my journals have been coming out chunky. And probably because I made 3 signatures in this one. And I was looking back to see when I started this. And I was like, I think it was a while ago. This is March 2023. And as far as I could tell, back in September of 2020, I sewed the signatures in. But it was probably months after I, made the journal, put the spine on, and did that decorating with the cloth. So I made the cover even before then. So just 2.5 years. So 2.5 years ago. And I don't know why I didn't do a lot of, I did some journaling in it, but not a whole lot. Probably because I was making, like a Christmas daily and a Christmas in July and doing all these other winter journals, on my gnome journal and some of the other ones. So I decided this year, to finish some things up, and I was so proud of myself to get that monster. Monster. Christmas in July journal finished. That was a major project. And I got that finished, and now I have this one finished too. So let me show you those 13 pages. Yes, 13 pages that I did during the snowstorm. And then we'll talk about the next little golden book. I really didn't think this would come out this chunky, but it did. 3 signatures. Okay, so where were we? We had just gotten into the 3rd and last signature, And I did 2 pages from the Worcester Historical Museum. This one was about Esther Howland, the mother of the American Valentine. And this one was about the artist who drew the smiley face, Harvey Ball. And this was a picture of me standing in front of the smiley face. And as you can see, I've added 2 more images. I found the brochure from the museum, and it actually had this little smiley face guy and this World Smile Day, Friday, October 4th. Do an act of kindness, help one person smile. So I thought I would add that to the page. And if you were with me when I did this page, I said I would add smileys as I found them because I couldn't find my smiley stickers. So that was that. So I added a few things to that. On this page, which I think was my last video, I had happy mail from Crafter Deidre, and she sent me this shaker card and a few other items like this little sign down here that says Happy Valentine's Day. Am I in frame? Yes, I am, but my battery is beeping. I really do need to remember to check that battery before I start. I used to have a little sign over here on my tripod. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, where was I? I made a really fun Happy Valentine's Day with the happy mail that Crafter Deidre had sent me. Thank you, Deidre. And I had taken out, like I said, my Valentine's Day things. And I was like, oh, there's some really pretty things in here. What am I saving them for? Oh, I remember. I was going to make a Valentine's Day journal. And that didn't happen. It still might happen someday, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take some of those things and go through my phone and look for some Valentine's Day pictures and just put some of that Valentine's stuff into this journal because a lot of this journal is about February. So this was just a piece of a notebook from a Japanese school, and I had just folded it and used it as a page in the journal. And I put these stickers on them on here. They are like foam stickers for the conversation hearts. Be mine, love bug, best friend, XOXO, because I put pictures of the kids on the inside. I did decorate the flap with one of those reproductive Valentine cards to my Valentine. I just thought it was a really sweet little Cupid there. And then I had this, I think somebody gifted this to me. And again, there's a Cupid and a butterfly and a rose and a kitty. And these are my grandnephew and niece. Now look at my niece. Her mother put this it's hard to see, put this heart-shaped braid in her hair for Valentine's Day. It was so cute. It's in the shape of a heart. And then her little brother had this had this red shirt on that said, stealing hearts and blasting farts. I just thought it was so funny. I thought it, oh, the cat, see, I stood up and now I can't sit down because the cat got on the seat. Okay, so I thought that was so cute, stealing hearts and blasting farts. It's adorable. So she had this precious heart-shaped braid, and he had that precious shirt on, and the pictures that the mom sent were just so funny, funny, funny. Those are my sister's grandkids. And then I had this reproduction of a heart-shaped Valentine, and my other sister, sent me a picture of Mom, dressed her up for the day with a red hat and a red hearts on her sweatshirt. TT's climbing on my shoulder. She is so restless today. And I love this black and red theme going on here. So when I went to get the sparkly paper to die cut this heart, because I love this new die cut set I had with the hearts on it, I found my box of, where is it? Oh, let me get TT down. I remembered my box of Mary Engelbright's paper crafting set. I bought this used at the yard sale. And yeah, so I started cutting out some little hearts and stickers for that. And I kind of left it on the floor, so it comes in play again. Now this page was already here, and this was from March 2022, and it was just a doodle day. Make a green doodle. So this was another one of those reproductive cards, and I just thought this was so beautiful with the swan, and I gave it this really pretty floral paper in the background, which is the same paper that's in the background of that one, because it was out. I tend to use things that are out and about, right? Within reach. And then I made a card. I remember I had this paper with the swans on it. I had a little bit left, so I went in the closet and I found that. And I thought just these hearts with the swans would go really lovely with this swan card, which I made into a pocket. A lot of pockets in this journal, but I found that you know, pockets are something that's interactive, and you get to see one image and then actually do something and then see some surprise images on the inside of the pocket. So having things that fold out and things that you have to pull out of pockets just makes the journal a little bit more interesting, I think. This is my son Jesse and his friend Lydia, and they went ice skating at Bryant Park in New York. And they had this lovely, like Christmas trees with red roses on them. I thought that was so clever, and they had all the hearts out there so they can do a photo. And the other side is another one of those reproduction Valentine's cards. They're cute, the little boy and the little girl there. So I just put them in the pocket, a little bit of sparkly ribbon there that went nice with that pink paper. These pages were done. This was a 2022. This is a card, but I'll get to this card in a couple of minutes. I'll talk about it when I get to the other side of it. These pages were already done. This is a memory page, 1972, and this is March 2022. And this book is The Colors of Winter, so this was about the color orange. And this page was 22, and this page was 22. So the next page that I actually did was this, another black and red page. And this, my sister had sent me, another sister, this is another sister, sent me a picture of my grandmother. This is my mother's mother. And she was just going through some old photo albums and, you know, sending the sisters odd pictures, things that struck her. And I liked it because she had a red dress on, and I was like, oh, let's put her in here with a red and black background. So I've got two of these red and blacks going on, one for mom and one for her mom. And this was taken at my house in New Haven in 1979. And I did use the Mary Engelbright's paper. I love the black and red cherries design. This has got all hearts. So I kind of layered and layered. So the paper in the background is one layer. These borders another layer. This frame is another layer. And then the picture on top. And then the kit actually came with these little corner pieces. So I put the little corner pieces on there. Just a little memory page. And then I went back to this side and I grabbed one of my birthday cards. Like half of this book is like birthday and and Valentine's Day. Well, because I have myself and two other sisters. The three of us are all in February. So we just kind of celebrate the whole month, you know. It's a month of birthdays. And plus it's Valentine's Day. Plus it's my anniversary, you know. Plus it's, you know, Lincoln's birthday and Washington's birthday, and get your taxes done. A lot of things to celebrate. So my one sister gave me this card, and it was just very tropical, so I put this tropical paper in the background. So this card is from that sister. This picture was sent to me by that sister. That is me, and this sister gave us these pink hats to wear. This is a picture of us at the quarry. Titi wants to come back up. They're coming up. What are you doing? Come on. when we went on our hike for our sister's tea. And she got these hats from Lulu's in Myrtle Beach. And she has a line of products called Crazy Sista. Either you have one, you know one, or are one. So the front of the hats, it's a little hard to see, but the front of the hats say Crazy Sista. And the side of the hat actually has this saying embroidered on it. And we always call each other Sista anyway, so she just had to get us these hats. So we all wore these pink hats on our little hike around the quarry that day. So I wanted to journal about that, and I used the card to do that. Now this is the other side of this yellow and orange card, which is over here. Now this is one of those, I forget what they call it now, but where you cut the paper and then, you know, like, and you glue it down and it makes a print. I'll have to look this up. So this is like paper cutting. It's like, I think it's a German thing. Look at these little rabbits down here. They're so cute. It's like an old-fashioned German folk art form. And my friend Susan Munch, I can't get up because the cat is in my lap. This is a little picture here. Susan Munch, right there, if I can get her in there. Right there. Okay. She is a professor of botany, college in Reading, and she led a botany walk like once a week during the season on Wednesdays, and people from all over, we'd meet at different places, and we'd spend about an hour walking around and looking at plants and lichens and mosses and ferns and liverworts and club mosses and all those things. So I learned a lot from her by just going on these nature walks. So I kind of miss that now that I'm here in Connecticut. I haven't hooked up with any botany groups yet. A lot of people stopped all that stuff during the COVID, so I'll have to look and see who's back in business now. I believe there are a few nature groups in the area. So I copied this off the back of her book, which is Outstanding Mosses and Liverworts of Pennsylvania and Nearby States by Susan Munch. Yeah, so this comes in handy when I want to go out and look at my mosses and my liverworts. Handy little guide. So yeah, those are really fun days. I love those walks. And speaking of nature walks, this is the birthday card I got from my son with this beautiful 3D kitty cat little balcony on it. And I used this card to journal about our hike. And the card says, hope you can connect to what makes you feel most peaceful and content on your birthday, Mom, because no one deserves it more. And so I put a little note here, thank you for hiking with me, because, you know, what makes me peaceful and content is taking a walk in the woods. So we went to a nearby preserve called Joshua's Preserve in Mansfield. Here's my clock. Mansfield, Connecticut. And what we were looking for was something called Wolf Rock. It says Wolf Rock is one of Mansfield's most spectacular landmarks, consisting of a great glacier boulder, almost round, perhaps 2 yards in diameter, perched atop a sheer 40-foot cliff. This huge boulder testifies to the force of the glacier that moves southward through this area, slicing off chunks of rock and steepening slopes. Wolves may have inhabited the area when the town was settled, but by the turn of this century, Wolf Rock had become a favorite destination for an afternoon walk. Once part of a large estate bordered by an extensive stone wall still visible along Browns Road, Wolf Rock was the site of an observation tower. The tower is gone, but one of the rings that anchored it is still visible. So I had never been here before. We didn't have I printed out the trail map and I left it home. So my son looked it up on his phone and we plotted out a little route and we were looking at the rocks. So this is the first big one we came to, but it didn't look like the one that we wanted to get to because it was not at the top of the hill. So we hiked about, and then we came to this rock. Look at the size of this one. Now all these boulders are left here by the glacier that was here 15,000 years ago. And you could see me there. I call these rocks, well, big rocks like this are called monoliths, but I call it mama, the mammalith, because it is the mama of all rocks. And then we finally got to the top, and I'll insert the picture here because it's hard to hold the book up. So here's this sort of roundish boulder, and it's sitting like perched right at the edge of this cliff where it goes down. And if you look out in the distance, you can see the mountains in the distance, a little bit of a valley, and then the mountains in the distance. So that was Wolf Rock. We finally got there. There was a great, I'm looking to see what else I journaled about. I think I said everything. And then there's a picture of the two of us in front of a couple of the rocks there. And this rock was covered with moss. Beautiful, beautiful mossy rock. Speaking of rocks, I put in some more pictures from our hike around this hike that we took with the sisters for the birthday. And this was at a quarry. So I think I showed you this the other day. And the nature trail goes up over the top of the quarry up here. Nature trail is at the top. There is a fence so you don't fall in. And then on the, oh, the cat's on my seat again. Every time I get up, she sits down on my seat. On the way down the other side, there was a couple of these really, really cool rocks. So let me show you. So on the top of this rock, it was like a light-colored rock, and it had these black, dark areas. And if you look closely at them, you could see all this beautiful, shiny, black layers. So I brought it home and I looked it up. I used the rock identifier on my phone, and this is biotite. It's like mica, but black. Really, really gorgeous. And I just happened to find this piece that matched what was at the top of that rock a little further down the trail. She's complaining because I have to keep moving her. And I put here the sitting people made a new friend because Native American folk, they call the trees the standing people. And so I like to refer to the trees sometimes as the standing people. And since they're called the standing people, I figured, well, then the rocks are the sitting people, right? The trees are standing and the rocks are sitting. So I put that in there. The sitting people made a new friend. There's my new friend there. And I took a picture of the sign that said, "Be alert for bears." And this was right in front of a beautiful pine tree, so I used these pine cones for the background. And it also said, "Beware of ticks." You don't want to get the Lyme disease. Been there, done that. On the inside, I made a little flap to open up. I put down where we were, the old Oxford Quarry, now called Quarry Walk, which was shops and apartments. We were on the nature trail. Excuse me, I brought back 4 rocks. And this one is a pegmatite because it has large chunks of different kinds of rock in it. This one also has mica and probably feldspar in there. And then I have that black one, which is the biotite. And then this little shiny one. No, first the black and white one. And if it has black and white stripes, it's usually gneiss, which is spelled G-N-E-I-S-S. So that is probably a piece of gneiss because it has the black and white stripes. And then the last one I put a picture in here is what we call mica schist, which is another sparkly rock. And all that sparkly goodness is mica. And if you like to wear sparkly eyeshadow, then you probably are wearing mica. in your makeup, because a lot of the sparkly eyeshadow is made from mica. And so are these sparkly rocks. How'd I get on there? Some glue. Okay. I had done this the other day about the Bushnell. So I did a birthday page. This was actually the very last page that I did in my journal page marathon. And I tried to get some washi tape up the top there. Don't think I did a really very good job. But anyway, so this is another one of those reproduction cards, and somehow it was in with the Valentine's, but it's actually a birthday. And it's very spring-like. It has lots of narcissus. Some people call them daffodils, but I believe these are the narcissus, and it's got white flowers and little bluebirds. It's just so pretty. So I tried to get some washi tape up there, but you can see the line of glue there. I wonder if I should put a white strip of paper and then put the washi on top of it. Make it stand out a little more. You know what, I might try that. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. I just took the washi tape off the page, put it on some white cardstock. I had a scrap sitting right over here, and stuck that cardstock on the page. And now it is so bright and cheery, and goes with the little girl there in the garden with her yellow dress. Happy birthday. And so I made a journaling card, and I just used some fun paper for the background. On this side I used the pink daisy paper, and this picture was taken on January 17th. It should have been in this journal way before now, but it didn't get put in yet. And it was just confused daffodils sprouting after a few warm, wet weeks. So in the middle of the winter, it was warm and wet. Lots of rain, and we finally got our snow yesterday on the last day of February. And on this side, I put death by dessert. The waitress brought me a free dessert because it was my birthday. After we had dinner at the 99 house, I had steak with shrimp and lobster on top of it. Interesting combination. And everything in this I'm not supposed to eat. There were no nuts though. So I didn't eat the whole thing. Mr. Possum helped me. And I don't know, it was like brownies and ice cream and whipped cream and chocolate and everything I'm not supposed to have. So, you know, I had a tummy ache for a couple of days, but it was worth it. It was worth it. I survived. I survived my dessert. Once in a while, you just, you know, you have to treat yourself. That's all. I was so good with my diet. I did not cheat, not one day for like 10 years. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll just have a little of this. Maybe I'll just have a little of that. So, you know, no biggie. This page is from that Japanese children's workbook. And I thought I would leave this image in the snow. And all I did was added this picture of baby possum from like 1982 in his snowsuit getting ready to go out to play. It's got a cute little smile there, and I have no reason why, but he's carrying around one of my slippers. I don't know, maybe he thinks it's my boots and he wants me to go out with him, or I don't remember what the story was, but just a little memory page there. I like to stick in different memories as I'm journaling. I have a lot of old pictures. I don't know what to do with them. Now the next page is a nature journaling page, believe it or not. And I just want to show you what I copied this background off of. I had gotten these, and they're embossed. You can feel them. Really, really cute. I call these Cupid dolls because they got those little gills or wings or whatever they are on their neck. I got these used, I don't know, at the flea market or somewhere, a yard sale or the flea market. And they're so cute. I just love this little Cupid, and I haven't used it for anything yet. And now I'll tell you why I used it. So while on the walk, our hike with my son, we came across this one rock that had this really strange green, it was like flat but curly around the edge and attached to the rock. And it was like a lichen, and I'm thinking it's a lichen, but they were so big. And I think, that's not a moss. It didn't look like a moss. And I said, what kind of plant can that be? And I'm like, no, that's a lichen. So I wasn't sure what it was while we were out, so I had to come home and look it up. Now, I think if I go back in my nature journals, I will probably find this at least in one journal, at least one time, I think, of what this was. And it has a big name. It is called the Umbilicaria mammulata. Umbilicaria mammulata. And yes, it is a lichen. And why is the Cupid doll here? Because the Cupid doll doesn't have any clues on it. And you can see the Cupid doll's belly button. And look at that word, umbilicaria. Looks like umbilicord, right? The umbilicus. Umbilicaria, umbilicord, umbilicus. And where is the umbilical cord attached? It's attached. It's your belly button, right? Well, if you look closely at the lichen, it is attached to the rock in one spot, and you can see right there the belly button. See that white spot right there? Can I bring it up? I'll just put the picture in. I'll insert the picture. But if you look at that white spot, that is the belly button where this lichen is attached to the rock. And I just thought that was so cute. What a way to remember this. Yeah, I'm not a scientist in that, I'm going to walk around and say, that's an umbilicaria mammulata. I'm going to walk around and say, this is so fun. Look at this. This is the belly button lichen. I'm going to call it the belly button lichen. Well, the common name is really smooth rock tripe. But I called it the belly button lichen because that story is so cute, right? So I looked up some more information about it. And, it takes a really, really long time to grow this big because, it's a lichen. And a lichen is a symbiotic relationship between two living organisms. When you look at a lichen, you're actually looking at a fungus and an algae. Or there could be a cyanobacteria in there somewhere, but mostly it's a fungus and an algae. And it takes them a really long time to grow, but these belly button lichens, otherwise known as smooth rock tripe, grow to be the largest lichen in the world. I was like, whoa, these are the largest lichen in the world, and they're right here. Very interesting. A couple other interesting things. They call it the smooth rock tripe because somebody thought that it looked like tripe. So I had to look that up. And a tripe is the lining of a sheep or cow stomach that people cook. I guess it's a traditional Italian dish. And you have to cook it for a really long time to get it to be tender. But yes, it is a traditional Italian dinner. I've never cooked it, no. Not in the mood for cow stomach, not really. And it's not supposed to be very nutritious. Not the cow stomachs. Apparently the cow stomachs are nutritious, but the lichen are not that nutritious. But yet people have eaten them in times of starvation. So, and there's legends, every plant, everything, every rock, every plant, every tree, every fungus, every lichen, everything has some story. And it's the stories that are so interesting. And there's one story about this smooth rock tripe that I call the belly button lichen, is that, during the Revolutionary War, when George Washington and his soldiers were camped out at Valley Forge, and it was the winter and they were starving and they had no clothes, and that whole story of Valley Forge, they took to eating this tripe because it was the only thing around. Now, it's not going to kill you. It doesn't taste very good. You usually have to cook it in boiling water and then drain it, and then cook it in boiling water and drain it, and cooking boiling water and drain it to get rid of, all the strong tasting stuff. And so, but it is edible. It's not nutritious, but I guess if you're starving, it is something you can eat. Not that you'd want to. You can also eat skunk cabbage, but nobody's going to do that either. So what else did I write down? Oh, I wrote down, it's black on the bottom. So it was green on this side, but it could be like tannish, brownish, grayish. But the bottom side is black. And I also wrote down that the second part of the name, Mamulata, means small breasts, but what it's referring to are the small bumps on the bottom side. And I wrote down here, belly button lichen. There were several boulders covered with this stuff. And the umbilicus means navel. So that is what I wrote down here for my very fun nature journaling page. Loved a little cupie there. And the very last page, I was not going to put anything on this page because I just love the picture of the snowman hugging the little girl. But my sister sent me a picture of her grands building a snowman. And so I said, oh, snow day, February 28, 2023, Millie and Leo and a snow folk. I like to call these the snow folks. So that is it. Those are my 13, this is old from last year, 2022, but that is my 13 pages that I finished up to complete my Colors of Winter journal. So you remember these I did lately too. These were all done this year. And these were done this year, and these are last year. These were this year. I have some more nature journaling, actually. And this was Happy Mail. This was this year, last year. So there is some old journaling in here, and lots of new journaling, too. Last birthday, I added pictures to those. Memory keeping. So that is this. I got a belly band on this page with an envelope. I got a nice tuck here with, oh, there's some shaker cards. Oh, I forgot about these. These are snowy day shaker pictures. 2022, January 30th, we had a blizzard. Not this year for sure. So that is finished. This will go up on the shelf. As soon as I find my towel, here it is. Put my thing. Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave it out because I might try and fix that one page before I put it away. The next journal, little golden book journal, is going to be Margaret Weiss Brown's The Golden Egg Book. And I thought this would be perfect just for some journaling for spring. And this one has also been sitting around for a while. I've got a memory keeping page in here. I got these die cuts last year, I guess. I think there was only one more page in here. This one, I made these fabric flowers with die cuts. Made a fabric flip there. And I don't think there's anything else in here. But I'm just going to continue with some memory keeping and some nature journaling and fill this up, because this is another one that's been around for quite a while that I need to finish up. So thanks for coming along today, and I want to wish everybody happy junk journaling. Bye-bye. Can you say thumbnail?